Did you see Power of the Dog? Did you watch that movie?
Yeah, you want to talk about that piece of shit?
Oh, no. You didn't like that one?
Fuck no.
Okay, why?
I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I didn't like it anyway.
Yeah.
I looked at it when I was down there in Texas during 1883.
Yeah.
And what really brought it home to me the other day, where I said, do you want to fucking talk about it?
Yeah.
There was a fucking full-page ad out in the L.A. Times, and there was a review, not a review, but a clip,
blurb?
A clip, yeah.
Yeah.
And it talked about the evisceration of the American myth.
Huh.
And I thought, what the fuck? What the fuck?
What does that mean?
This is the guy that's done Westerns forever.
For his whole life.
The evisceration of the American West. I mean, they made it look like, what are all those dancers, those guys in New York that wear bow ties and not much else?
Uh-huh.
Remember them from back in the day?
Oh, the Chippendales?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what all these fucking cowboys in that movie looked like.
Uh-huh.
They're all running around in chaps and no shirts. There's all these allusions to homosexuality throughout the fucking movie.
Yeah. I think that's what the movie's about.
Yeah. Well, what the fuck does this woman from...
Who, Jane Campion?
People are entitled to an opinion. But I don't like what this did for Mark Maron. He received negative backlash simply for hosting the platform on which Sam Elliott said his piece. He even lost guests on his podcast, and some said he led or baited Sam into this, which couldn't be further from the truth. Sam had that opinion locked and loaded.
Is that they were these, macho men out there with the cattle.
Yeah.
I'd just come from fucking Texas where I was hanging out with families, not men, but families.
Yeah.
Big, long, extended, multiple generation families that made their living and their lives were all about being cowboys. And boy, when I fucking saw that, I thought, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Where are we in this world today?
I don't know that that's the biggest issue at hand.
It's not the biggest issue at hand, no, but it's for me, it was the only issue.
Right, but
because there was so much of it. Cumberbatch never got out of his fucking chaps. He had two pair of chaps, a woolly pair and a leather pair.
Yeah.
And every fucking time he'd walk in from somewhere, I don't know where in the fuck, he never was on a horse.
Yeah.
Maybe once.
Yeah.
He'd walk into the fucking house, storm up the fucking stairs, go lay on his bed in his chaps and play his banjo. And it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
But where's the Western? Where's the Western in this Western?
I get what you're saying, but you can't. But there's no part of you that knowing art films and knowing a separation that this is a specific story, and that the idea that it's an evisceration of the American West was a critic saying
the
something.
American myth.
The American myth. Yeah. Well, you're part of it, so I guess it's a personal insult.
I took it personal. I took it fucking personal, pal.
They wanted to make it seem like his issue was homosexuality, and seeing what he said is more like the disrespect about cowboys being this toxic man when it's more like a family business. Of course, there is toxic masculinity, but to reduce it to that is unfair and disrespectful.
I've had that question asked so many times, and it's so hard to answer because, if you have good fortune enough to have been in some decent films along the road, then there are obviously things that stand out about all of them. I think what I remember most about films is the people that I've worked with rather than the film itself, if that makes any sense. And I don't think it'll ever get any better than it was on this film. It just was on all sides of the camera. It was, it was a labor of love for a lot of people. And I think in the end that we pulled it off with a piece of really good entertainment. And, as Brett said earlier, that's the world we live in. We're not curing anything, but hopefully some people's ills once in a while, give them a chuckle, give them a laugh. And
Sam's role in The Man Who Killed Hitler and Then the Bigfoot was incredible. I felt every emotion he wanted to share, and his acting was the best I've seen on screen.
I wonder if anybody else is going to read anything tonight. I do this because I didn't expect to be up here. And I've got 43 seconds to say this in. And I've already wasted a half of that. What can I say in 45 seconds? After just receiving the most meaningful acknowledgement of my 55-year career. From a group of my peers, many of whom I don't even know, or know only from afar as a fan who respects their work. Not time to say enough. But I can say thank you, and I can tell you that I'm honored and grateful to be in your company, whether you're in this audience or watching at home. After seeing the work of my fellow nominees, I'm not even sure I should be standing up here. I'm sure I'll get over that. I'm going to treasure this guy, this gal, because it comes from all of you, my brothers and sisters from SAG-AFTRA. I'll treasure it as a constant reminder of 1883 and what a gift it was to all of us on both sides of the camera. To my incredible castmates, there's a piece of this for all of you, not only for who you are, but for your beautiful work that helped me find the way. I love you all for that. Thank you, Taylor Sheridan, for your brilliant script, and David Glasser, and everyone else at 101. Thank you to Paramount. Thank you to my team, David, Laura, and Becca. And thank you to my wife, my beautiful Catherine.
He walked up there slowly, with so much care. It was the mark of a true gentleman. He reminds me of my grandpa and the way he carried himself. These men were like lions in a world full of hyenas.
Definition of a man.
It's a bit of a stretch.
Well, you know, it certainly is.
It makes you wonder what kind of guys Brett's been hanging around with, including his dad and his brother.
Well, but, you know, you have done a significant number of roles that are in that vein of, you know, the biker, the cowboy, or the, you know, the...
Of being a man.
Of being a man. And it made me wonder what that definition is for you.
I can only speak of the men that were in my life. And that was my dad and his friends.
Right.
Those are the men that I grew up going fishing and, you know, spending time with.
Yeah.
And they were all pretty hardcore. They were gentlemen. I mean, they weren't assholes. They were nice men, but they were hardcore. They were hard-working men.
What did your dad do?
He worked for the Fish and Wildlife Service.
So he was outside all the time?
Yep.
And did he take you around?
He took me a lot of places.
Really?
I grew up in Sacramento, I was born and raised in Sacramento. My family is all from West Texas. And he was an easy period. He died at 54 years old, had a heart attack, boom, gone.
Really?
Died in my mom's arms on our living room floor in Portland, Oregon.
How old were you?
18.
God.
That was a bummer.
And were you...
My dad died thinking I was a total idiot for wanting to be an actor.
Really?
Yeah. He said, you got a snowball's chance in hell of having a fucking career in that town.
And did that...
Didn't discourage
did that motivate
me at
you?
all. Sure.
Like, did you want to prove... Even after he died, were you still proving something to him?
I never thought about it as trying to have a need to prove something to him other than I wanted him to be proud of me. So, you know, that's the worst part of it. You know, or when you don't think your dad's proud of you, that's a fucking, you know. I knew that he was in other areas, you know. He knew I could catch more trout than he or any of his friends.
Really?
He was proud of that. But I don't think he ever got the theater arts interest.
Did he ever get to see you perform?
Yeah, he came a couple of times. Yeah.
But that is a defining thing, to have a father that you look up to as a man who
Always do more than is expected of you. That line really motivates people to work hard.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I think it's a triumph for a lot of people, including you.
Yes, it is. I feel lucky to be part of it.
I've been waiting a long time for you in this kind of role, in this kind of movie. You know, since 76 or 75, 74, Lifeguard.
Yeah.
That movie came out.
Thank you.
Those of us who knew said, this is the guy. Let's just make way because we're going to be living with his stardom for the next 2, 3, 4 decades. You made us wait a long time.
Well, I don't know that I had everything to do with making you wait.
Well, I bet you had something
It takes a while. It takes some of us longer than the rest of us.
Yeah, but I bet you had something to
I
do
was
with
a late bloomer. Yeah, I probably did. I talked too much. You know, that's what I had to do with it, maybe. You know, I don't know. I don't know what I had to do with it.
What was it like? I read that you were nervous when you first started shooting Mask. Is that correct?
Yeah. After 15 years to go into a meeting and have Peter Bogdanovich sitting across the room for me and sent me for this picture during the course of this hour and a half that I talked to him, you know, that really immediately just pumped me into a whole other thing that I'd never felt before, you know. For the first time, I was involved with some real high-class movie makers.
You have this cowboy aspect about you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I came down here when I came down to L.A. I wanted to do Westerns. And there's a lot of similarities in Gar and one of these, and this guy in the Yellow Rose or these other characters. But bikers and cowboys have a lot of similarities.
Why'd you want to be a cowboy actor?
I don't know. I saw too many movies when I was a kid. You know, that was the fantasy. I wanted to go down there and play cowboys and Indians, you know. Wanted to do it since I was a kid. Like I said, 10 years old. You know, I used to go to the theater on the weekends and sit in there and get turned on by the movies or whatever happened and think, God, I'd like to try that someday. You know?
So you got out here, and the Western died.
The Western stopped being made right after I got to town, yes. I tried not to take that personally either. Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this woman you married.
This woman I married, the love of my life, Catherine Ross, married Catherine Ross. Been going with Catherine since 1978.
You married the girl of all our dreams from The Graduate.
Yeah.
That movie, yeah. You got something going for you. I mean, here I am sitting here buttoned up like an accountant. You got your boots on. You got your Harley jacket on.
Mm-hmm.
You're in a successful movie. You married the beautiful woman. You have a wonderful baby. Huh?
Real glutton, huh?
Yeah.
Wowed. He's such a handsome man. Even now, he's got this amazing, warm voice. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed Sam Elliott's views on current culture, please like, subscribe, and comment below. He speaks his mind and gets people talking. Stay tuned for more. See you next time.